quick summary. I thought everyone can get on the way.
Monica Lowney, PO Box 493, Snoqualmie. I am very impressed with the presentations I've heard tonight. It's actually very exciting to me. I'm also very impressed with the professionals that have come tonight to answer questions. I've learned so much. I have many concerns, but I will start with traffic. I have spoke to the gentleman performing the traffic survey, and you know, Highway 18 is an absolute mess, and once that is actually resolved, we're going to find even more traffic on the Snoqualmie Parkway. I just cannot fathom the thought of large container trucks and commercial trucks that weigh thousands of pounds, that are loaded with cargo coming from the Tacoma port or the Seattle port, driving through our residential neighborhoods and polluting our air with their diesel fumes to go to this new site. They're very dangerous, and as you know, I happen to live on the downward slope of the Snoqualmie Parkway, so a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit quickly turns into 60, and trucks cannot stop quickly. And we have families that are pushing baby strollers across the parkway, little kids trying to cross the street to catch the school bus. Something needs to be done, and I believe the best way to mitigate it is to reduce traffic, not add to it. And that also includes cars, and I do have concerns with drunk drivers as well. I'd like to know who took out the railroad crossing at the end of the bottom of the parkway. I'm assuming it was a truck, because wow, that's the second time I've seen that taken down in a year and a half. Moving on, I have an environmental background, and one of my huge concerns, and I've asked a lot of questions tonight, is not only water quality, but water availability and PCB contamination. We counted 11 sites that are contaminated with PCBs on the map over here, yet we have no knowledge of how the testing was done, how far did they drill. We know that the land was filled in potentially 15 or 25 feet. Just to explain a little history, because the oil business is something that I worked in the past, a transformer uses oil, which becomes contaminated with PCBs. This transformer caught on fire, and the solution for Weyerhaeuser was to cover it with dirt. So this has never been cleaned up. Also, if you go back in environmental regulations, you'll find that back in the 70s, it was completely legal to pour oil on your roadways for dust control. Nobody took into consideration petroleum hydrocarbons, PCBs, cancer-causing effects, chemicals that leach into our groundwater that we eventually drink, which I know our city has a wonderful clean report, but they don't test for PCBs. If you look at the list, things that I'm concerned about are not tested for because they're not required to be tested for by state law, and they shouldn't be in the water. So I would like to see some PCB testing done on the water, not only, well, at this site. I also find it very interesting that, well, Christy did a great job talking about our above ground water. I would like to talk about our underground water rivers. We have aquifers that are flowing, and the gentleman, geologist, just explained it to me, did an excellent job. A huge river runs under this site that's contaminated with PCBs, that goes into the actual sites that we're pumping well water out and feeding to our residents. So major, major concern for me. I would like to see further testing. I was told that groundwater monitoring devices were put into place by Weyerhaeuser. However, they have not been used for years. They were simply covered over, and the plan, based on the discussion I just had with Tom, is that they're going to cap those. That's old school. You don't cap PCBs and chemicals that can leach into groundwater. We all know how much rain we get in this area. The soil needs to be removed. It needs to be fully remediated, in my view, to prevent future contamination. And I would just like to say, regarding water rights, if a water district has purchased the water rights on this land, I do not see how phase 2 and phase 3 can be approved. There simply is no water available, and we were in a drought just a year and a half ago based on our city's determination. So the last thing I will say is, I did see Bob here earlier. This is an exciting meeting, a lot of concerned citizens. Ultimately, our city council will make this decision. Are there any city council members present?
They're not present because this becomes a quasi-judicial issue, so they were advised by the attorney not to be present. Otherwise, they
Okay.
have to hear every conversation they have
Okay.
with everybody. So everything that they do that influences their decision has to be out and on the record. In the
Okay,
public
fair
domain.
enough. I just hope that they will all listen to this recording so they can hear what the citizens who they represent are saying and what our concerns truly are. Thank you very much.